The Memphis Grizzlies are 0-5 to start the season, dead last in the Western Conference. Ja Morant is serving a self-inflicted 25-game suspension due to his gun issue and won't be back until December. Steven Adams had knee surgery and is out for the season. Their main backup center, Brandon Clark, is recovering from a torn Achilles. And both Santi Aldama and Derrick Rose, two key role players, have recently got injured. Through 5 games, this team is giving up an average of 18 threes made a game, which would shatter the NBA record. And this comes at a time when there's no room for error in the Western Conference as well, as there are at least 11 teams in the conference vying for 8 total playoff spots. While many quality players are currently injured, the moves the franchise made is the main reason the team might actually miss the playoffs. In NBA history, only 10 out of 65 teams who started out 0-5 have come back to make the playoffs. Ever since Ja Morant was drafted, the Grizzlies have never gone on a 5-game losing streak. Morant's return in December could be enough to save the team's season and bring them to the playoffs. However, their depth might just sink them. For the past couple of seasons, the Grizzlies have been praised for their depth and young talent. There was times when the team was actually better when Ja wasn't even playing. Clearly, that's not true anymore. Much more pressure has been put on Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane is averaging a career-high 25 points per game, but due to the increase in volume and scoring he's had to do, the sharpshooter's 3-point percentage has dropped to 34%. Jaren Jackson is averaging 18.8 points per game on 42.9% from the field. In his career, he's a 46% shooter, and last season he already averaged 18.6, so Jaren Jackson is having a down offensive season due to the fact that he's even getting the ball more. He's not used to being such a primary part of this offense, and we've seen a big dip in his field goal percentage. The trio of Bane, Jackson, and Smart are doing the major chunk of the scoring for this team, and with Derrick Rose now injured, the playmaking duties rely on Smart and Bane. Bane is known for his scoring and shooting ability, meanwhile Smart is a great defender, but neither have a forte in playmaking. But why is the team so dependent on these 3 starters? Last year in the 2022 NBA draft, instead of using their picks or younger players to attract veteran or star talent in trades, they traded for even more picks. First, they traded the pick that would be Walker Kessler in return for forward Jake LaRavia, who's still developing. Then, they also traded impact guard DeAnthony Melton to the 76ers for the pick to draft David Roddy. With the injuries the team is currently going through, lots of these young guys like LaRavia and Roddy, who aren't even fully developed, are being relied on to contribute in impact minutes. This offseason, they let Dillon Brooks walk and traded Tyus Jones for Marcus Smart. Although he does get ridiculed a lot on social media, we can all agree that Dillon Brooks has a very big impact on any team he goes to. Last year, he was a second-team all-defensive players, and the Grizzlies let him walk for nothing. For the past couple of seasons, Tyus Jones has been a great backup point guard behind Ja, who excels as a facilitator and scorer. By trading or letting go of all these important pieces, the Grizzlies now depend way too much on developing young players who need to contribute. While they are a relatively young team, they've actually exceeded expectations the past couple years by being the number 2 seed. However, they've never gone past the hump and made it past the second round. So for this Grizzlies team to change, they do have a lot of young talent and a lot of guys, but these guys aren't developing as good as the Grizzlies envisioned, and they're not able to get as much out of them. They have to be open to trading a lot of these guys or trading future picks in order to get better star talent around Ja, Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bane, the main trio of this team. Recently, in a loss to the Mavericks, the Grizzlies bench totaled for 13 points. Mavericks 6-man Tim Hardaway Jr. outscored the entire Memphis bench himself with 21 points. Luke Kennard, who is one of the most consistent players on the bench last year, has been shooting very badly recently, something that's very unusual for him. Due to the injuries the team is facing, exclusive bench players like Xavier Tillman and Zaire Williams have been starting. The team will be counting on increased production from guys like Santi Aldama, Zaire Williams, Xavier Tillman, Kenneth Lofton Jr., and Jake LaRavia. A lot of these guys have the potential to be very good NBA players or very good role players for the Grizzlies team, but they need to put it in action when the minutes matter. Unfortunately, right before the season, it was also announced that starting center Steven Adams is out for the year. Not only is he a great pick-and-roll partner with Ja, he's also a reliable and resilient center who specializes in rebounding and paint defense alongside DPOY Jaren Jackson. Last year, he averaged 5 offensive rebounds per game, easily the best in the entire league. Having Adams, who's the best offensive rebounder in the entire NBA, would have helped this offense by giving them much more opportunities and chances to score. Now, on defense, this forces Jaren Jackson to move from power forward to more of a traditional center role. Jaren Jackson plays his best alongside a traditional center like Steven Adams and isn't that good of a rebounder. For his career, he's only averaged 5.6 rebounds, which is less than what Steph Curry averaged last season. In the FIBA World Cup this summer, as a starting center for Team USA, he only averaged a measly 3 rebounds. While Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and Marcus Smart are all great compliments to Ja Morant is the true star of this team. Unfortunately, issues that have been surrounding him off the basketball court have hindered this team's chemistry and their ability to win. Ja's return should help Jaren Jackson move into a more comfortable offensive role, and Desmond Bane should be fine either way, but I'm a little worried about the defense and the center minutes because we have Brandon Clark, who's been injured with an Achilles injury since last March, and we have Steven Adams, who's out for the entire year. Yes, Jaren Jackson is a great defender who can average 2 to 3 blocks per game. However, his defensive playstyle is best when he has a traditional big who can also do some help with him. There is a chance the Grizzlies season actually doesn't go out as planned and they end up with a top 10 pick in the draft. We saw this happen with the Mavericks last year. They were able to pick up Derek Lively and they've actually been looking really good this year. So I'm saying they could end up getting a high pick in the draft. They could either package that pick with a player and turn it into a better player around this team, or they could use it to draft a rookie. It's looking rough right now in Memphis. The team is 0-5 and the Western Conference is packed. We'll see when Ja Morant returns if this team does get it together and makes a play-in or playoff push. It's going to be very tough with all the talent in the West, but if one team can surprise the entire NBA, it's these Memphis Grizzlies. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe and like the video. On the screen right now, there are 2 videos I think you guys would really enjoy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.